Hi, everyone. This is Deborah, where I come to you on Thursdays with Talk Your Talk. Yes, it is Friday, and I do know it's Friday. However, family time is important to me, self care. So I'll pause for a moment. And this time I didn't push it back to next week because it's National Battle Buddies Week. And so I had to do it this week. So I push it back to today. So thank you all for tuning in, where you can tune in here on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. So you all know it's all in my descriptions. If you go to my Facebook page, Talk Your Talk, and Deborah Vines-Epps, you will see it. So you can see me on all three platforms. You all get me raw and live. You can hear noise. Sometimes the dogs will bark in the background. I pre-record when I want to. But this time I'm going live. And I have my girl, DeKisser, with me. Hey, before we go into details, because this is a relationship, you all, that this is my battle buddy, my friend, and she's someone that I can call at any time. Because when you have battle buddies, your battle buddies can relate to you. They know what you went through, right? So before I go there and have the kisser introduce herself, I just want to say this. I know you all seen today. I started posting about a friend of mine, Melissa Brown. I'm not the one to reach out to people or ask for help, but I'm getting better with it because I am the one that helped a lot of people. And so this has been a something hard for me, only because she is someone that would give the shirt off of her back. She would do anything for you. She is a spiritual woman. Her faith is, oh my gosh, is so enormous, it's so gigantic. And because of her faith, there's um, no um, what's the word I can say for her? There's no complaints or excuses for her. And so I say, you know what? I wanted to show her that you don't have to ask people for it. Sometimes people just want to help. They genuinely do. And so I did it because I wanted to offer the strength of me. And I know I have a lot of people that love me and know that if I would do something like this for someone, that this person means a lot to me. Where I reach out and ask for people to help me, where I have also been support to her, praying and, just being there for her. But she's been doing it. Her girls been there with her 100%. Her grandbaby been making her smile and just keeping her upbeat. And she knows that although the doctors say one thing, she know her God says another. And because of that, you all, she is doing better. She's, it's okay for me to say that she had brain surgery, and because of that, her recovery is much more longer than she expected. So any help, if you can't donate, if you can pray for her, whatever you can, nothing is too small. 5 cent, whatever you can send, please do. Now I did put a goal of 5,000. I know that some people do not want to go on the GoFundMe and put their card information in. So I have also put her Cash App, which is Lissa Brown, number one. That's LISSABROWN and the number one. She's the lady with the beautiful smile with the black dress and the rose, which is the same thing as on my GoFundMe page that I set up for her. So if you do not wish to donate through the GoFundMe, which people have sent to her Cash App, that is Lissa, LISSAB as in Bravo, ROWN and the number one. Thank you all so much for people that have donated already and that has reached out. And Melissa is overwhelmingly thankful. So thank you all for that. So the Kisha,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying not to say your nickname.
Don't don't do it to the people.
I was trying not to say your nickname. Okay,
If you say
so
yeah,
they wouldn't know that. Then I'll catch it. I'll catch it.
it's all
So introduce yourself. Tell them, pretty much a little bit about yourself, what you do now as a veteran, a OIF, OEF veteran, what you do to give back to the community with the organization that you represent now. And then we'll go in detail a little bit after to talk about how we met, the military, and how we are giving back to our veterans together.
All right. So you already let everyone know my first name is Dakisha, Dakisha Robinson. I am IF and OEF veteran. I'm representing with my hat on today. I served from 2000 until 2008 in the United States Army Reserves, and had a deployment from in 2003 to 2004. I was going to try,
Yes.
but that's been a
Hey,
long.
look, let's be exact. So I think was it February 2003 until May 2004. We got extended to an extra 3 months. We did 15 months over there.
Yes, we did.
Right? Yep. Okay.
It
Okay.
gets but yeah, so right when we deployed, my son was actually about to turn a year old. So I actually should know that a little better. And he's currently serving in the United States Air Force. So of course
Woo-hoo!
is continuing to be right with veterans. So currently, I hold a role with the company that I currently work for, but we also have an employee resource group or a business resource group, as many
Mhm.
public traded companies do have. They have employee resource groups. And so I just transitioned into the co-lead role of our veterans business resource group. And basically what we do is we reach out to the veterans within our company. We have this year, I'm so happy for what we've done this year. We have set up to allow VSOs, veteran service officers, to go to each of our manufacturing locations in Pennsylvania
Wow.
so that our veterans have an opportunity to sit down and start claims, ask questions about educational benefits, compensation. We really just wanted to give them the opportunity on the clock to have access to Veterans Affairs. On top of that, we also partner with veteran focused organizations in our community. We volunteer, we've done yard cleanup, support
Wow.
small businesses. We're currently supporting the Veterans Outreach of Pennsylvania. They are building a tiny home community not too far from where I am. So we've been supporting them financially. We've been supporting them through volunteerism, just really allowing our veterans some access to programs,
Yep.
that we support them, and just getting the information out there. You'd be surprised how many veterans do not know what services and benefits are available to them. So I am well pleased with the work that we've done so far this year, and we're strategizing for 2024 to have a bigger impact into our sister locations outside of Pennsylvania.
Oh my gosh, the kisser, that is awesome because it starts with the community. It
Yes.
does. And a lot of veterans just think that going to the VA medical center is where everything is at. It's not. You mentioned about those remote locations. You mentioned about, you all partner with these veteran services organizations that people aren't aware of. You have your disabled American veterans, you have your wounded warrior programs, you have a lot of nonprofit programs. They have a lot of caregiver support programs out here. It's a lot that our veterans are not privy of.
Hmm?
And because of that, they are pretty much set in a bucket as to what they're limited to, right?
Yeah.
I think the best type of information is when a veteran sits at the VA medical center, wherever they are in the world, and they get the information from them. Hey, did you hear about this? Well, I got this. I got approved for this. You better get it. You can get it too,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, exactly.
That's when they really find out. So we're going to expand a little bit more as to what your services offer, and not your services, but the purpose of your initiatives and how it has impacted your community in Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Um, I know you all see I've been posting this week, and the kiss I got it off of your page. National Battle Buddy Week. I just want to just give a moment of silence to everyone that's serving right now in this world. I know we have some things going on over there in Israel right now. A lot of military service members are gearing up. Some are already on their way. Some are already there. And for the veterans that see this and know that you was there at one point in time, right? For the ones that just retired and know that you have loved ones that are serving and you have your battle buddies that are there, for the ones that lost their lives, for things as such as this. So I just want to just have a moment of silence for all the battle buddies, all the military service members right now at this time. And then we'll start back. Okay. All right. Thank you. And then, we have to add the kiss. We have to say thank you to the spouses too and the children. Because when we go through it, you all go through it too. So thank you all as well. You all, you serve with us. So we thank you all too. Family, spouses, and our children. All right. Okay. Hey, the kisser, Kathy, Shannon, Sergeant Shannon up here. She said, hello, proud of both of you. We
Hi.
proud of you too, Battle. You doing great things too. Yes. Thank you. And
Good.
thank you for donating too, Kathy. I appreciate that. So the kisser, let's talk about from a level of when we served in the military, you don't think about, oh, when I get out, I'm going to go after this benefit. Were you thinking of any of that when you were serving?
No, ma'am. I just wanted to get home safely.
Yeah, yeah,
Contract safely, as safe as
yeah,
you can be, right? Yeah,
right. And then while you were serving, doing your support operations, preparing for times like such where we had to deploy, or when we did stateside operations, we actually, during that time was not focusing on veteran benefits, right?
that's right.
And they really don't talk about it until 6 months before retiring. Let me just say that again. Not before, say, for instance, the kids, if you got somebody who's serving and say, you know what, I just want to do 4 years and I'm getting out.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have, I know for some people, like a TAPS program. It's a program where people sit before they get out, exit the military. They go through this class that tells them what their benefits are after post military. And so if you don't retire, then a lot of times you're not privy of that information, right? And so I didn't go into the military expecting to retire. I didn't know anything about benefits. I wasn't thinking about benefits. I'm saying, hey, I'm okay. Everything is good. But the kiss, at what point after your deployment did you realize something just wasn't right?
So, what do you mean by something just wasn't right? As far as benefit?
Meaning, yes, your benefits. Yes. Okay. So I've served, I've done my time. Shouldn't I be entitled to something? I'm not hearing anything from anyone. I haven't received anything in the mail because you did 8 years, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And during your 8 years, you deployed overseas, you did stateside things, so you did things. I know when we deployed together what happened overseas, right? So, but the healthcare system, they know, but they're not going to reach out to you and say, hey, come to me, come get, come,
Exactly.
you got dental, you have benefits out here for you. How did you find out about your benefits?
So, fortunately, I was a person that when I separated from service, I was disconnected as a veteran. And I tell people all of the time. I really wanted to get into like a civilian mindset, which wasn't the best approach. I'll be very transparent and candid about my own experience. Um, but it may have honestly been several years before I considered. So immediately after deployment, I should have been seeking some kind of help, some kind of benefits. Had it been just seeing a therapist or a doctor, I should have immediately already been seeking benefits. But because I waited, I was still dealing with some trauma and some health issues that I wasn't even aware. didn't even know that I could go to the military or Veterans Affairs and say, hey, I have this issue. I need help. So it actually took another friend of mine that had filed a claim to encourage me to actually file a claim. So I separated from service in 2009 is what my orders, my discharge papers say. But I did not file my first claim until 2016.
Woo! That's
Yeah.
normal though. I don't even know why I said woo. That's normal.
Um, what everyone tells you from the beginning is like, if you join the military, you can have student loan repayment. You'll get educational benefits. That is what everyone knows from the beginning. So,
Exactly.
right, we know we're cool with that. But what do you need after you have made that sacrifice and you've served your country? Now there are some things you've been exposed to physically, mentally, that you need care for.
Yes, ma'am.
And so it took me until 2016. This is why I'm so passionate about the work we're doing now, because I tried to navigate on my own. Even in that, I tried to navigate alone, just submitting a claim and filing what I thought was the right thing to do. And when I was denied, I was disheartened, but it was just a lack of education. So that's why I'm
Yep.
passionate now about introducing veteran service officers to veterans. These are people that will walk you through, tell you how to
Yes.
file on your behalf. You can sign over a like a power of attorney to them, and they will file
Yep.
path. So that's why I'm so passionate now. Like, you know what? You raised your right hand to defend the Constitution. Now, what can we do in service to you to make sure that you're in good standing, that you're okay? You and your family.
Right. And the kiss, you made a good point because a lot of people say, you know what, I'm not worried about it. I got denied. I'm not trying it anymore. A lot of people give up. They
Yes.
say, they hear other people's stories, or they'll say, you know what, I'm not even worrying about it. Is this, they're not going to approve me. They don't listen. They don't understand. And a lot of people do not seek help until they talk to someone else. And that person says, don't give up. Keep
Mm-hmm.
trying. Right.
Yes.
Also, you talked about the VSOs, the Veteran Services Office. I personally work with the DAV. One in particular, Miss Denise. She travels all over, but she's with the Portsmouth chapter in Virginia, and they are so patient, very patient, and they're veterans themselves, right? They fight for legislation. They fight for things to get approved for us, for our benefit, so they know the right thing to say. And so Miss Denise, she was trying to get on tonight, but she advised me. She said, Deborah, please tell them, do not try to do a benefit claim on your own. Don't try, because sometimes you don't know what to say. You're not putting the right thing. You're not what the condition that you're describing is not the same as what you may think your symptom. They don't give you disability off of a symptom. It's a condition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do not find you a VSO. Secondly, for people that say, I can't find my military records, do not let that be a barrier for you. Because if you can't find your military records, that's okay. They will look at records from where you discharged from the military and you started seeing a civilian doctor, or you started seeing a doctor on the military base. They will take those records, okay? And then there's an archives, you all can reach out to me afterwards. I have the link where you can fill it out online to ask for your records. And sometimes it may be blank, or sometimes they may send you something with your DD 214. Do not fret. Don't worry about it. You have access. You just have to ask and educate yourself.
And
Would you
that's
agree with that?
I do. And that's why these types of platforms are important, because people just do not know. To the point
Yeah.
that you made earlier, no one's giving you a checklist and a to-do list when you separate from service. It's going to
Nope.
take other veterans who have gone through it, those who are determined to assist other veterans, to put that knowledge out there.
Yeah.
And I can't agree with you more. VSOs have been godsend. And
Woo.
even read my previous denial and told me why it was denied and how to resubmit it, and what issues to put, what to claim, and what things to bring up. And I'm going to say this disclaimer right here. Everything that you have been facing in your health,
Yes.
on there, put every single thing. Keep your when your doctors ask you if you want to print out from your appointment for the day, yes you do. Take it, keep it, so that when you are filing claims, you have all documentation from every doctor that you have seen. File everything.
And also, Dekisha, when I filed my claim, I'm 100% permanent and total, and I'm going to talk about the difference between that and unemployability in a second. But I had witness letters from
Yes.
my husband. I had letters from battle buddies that witnessed things with me. So I had all of that evidence. Now I had all of my line of duties, my sick call slips, my LODs, because I just kept my medical records.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been the organized with keeping my stuff. Every time I left a unit, I would ask for my records. I would make copies. Before I left, I would get with that unit administrator and say, hey, look, can I have my records so I can make copies? But some people don't do that because they don't think outside of leaving the military, right? As we discussed before. But I want to talk about, I get questions and calls all the time about this, about being 100% permanent in total or unemployability. So I always tell people, if you always have a question, go to your local VA facility or call 1-800-827-1000. Again, that's 1-800-827-1000. That's your regional office. That is the office that you can call and see what all your benefits are, your educational benefits. Find out what is your state and local park benefits. Can I be exempt on my taxes, right? All of these things you all have to call and ask and see if you're eligible. Spouses too, have your spouses right there with you, because Lord forbid when something happens to you, when people come and the loved ones pass away and they come to my funeral home and they say, I don't know what benefits my spouse had. And so now we're calling all these phone numbers to find out, because you all are not educating your loved ones on what their benefits and their eligibilities are. Okay. So with 100% permanent total, let's talk about unemployability first. And I made some notes for this. Unemployability is what it is. If you are 70%, right? You have a single disability for 70% or a combined rating. Look up what combined rating is, okay? Because if you think that you have 20%, 30%, 40%, 60%, 20%, oh, I'm over 100%. That does not mean you are 100%. There is a combined rating scale. I want you all to look that up, and you got to figure out how to do the rating, okay? But if you're, say, for instance, I'm 70% service connected, and I'm going to use mm, I'm going to use my foot. I have surgery on my foot. Now I am unable to work, right? Because of this temporary foot surgery. You can put in the application to be rated at a temporary 100%. If it gets approved, you never see the 100% rate. But that's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That means that you cannot work. You right now are being rated at 100% unemployability at your 70% rate. Okay? They will come back and do another evaluation. And if they come back and say that you're making progress, and they see that you're deemed able to start, working again, they're going to take you back to your 70%. All right. I want y'all to pay attention to that. You are unemployability because a condition has worsened based off of the current position percentage you are at. All right. Do you want to add to that, Dekisha, before I move on to the 100% permanent total?
No, I think that's very clear and defined.
Okay.
Unemployment current rate, temporarily so. Yes.
Yes. All right. Now, for me, and the kids, I don't know, are you 100% yet or
Damn.
not yet? Okay. All right. So everybody moves at their rate. Everybody, decides when they're ready for certain things. Okay. Let me just say that just because you're not at 100% does not mean you're 100% capable. Okay. Meaning that your disabilities may deem you of being 100%. Now I'm going to be transparent. When I say disabilities, we're talking about mental and physical. Okay. There are two separate ones. Some people are 100% of all physical. Some people are off of mental. Now, for me, I am 100% permanent total. I started 30%. I went to 50. I went to 70. And as of 2017, I have been 100%. Now, I made 100% permanent total because of mental and physical. I've shared with you all before. I have PTSD. I am diagnosed with chronic severe PTSD. I did 3 deployments overseas, right? And so the last deployment, with the first one to Kisha, that was kind of heavy too.
Mm-hmm.
We minimized a lot of stuff.
We did.
Kathy and Nakia, this was when the war first started. So we experienced a lot, but we just suck it up and drove on. We really did. Really. So Nakia, I get it when you say it took years for you to realize after 2003, I didn't go seek help until 2006, 2007. No, I take that back. 2008.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I went. But I noticed there were some changes in me and with me. I noticed it, but I said, oh, as you know, I didn't pay no attention to it until something happened where I thought I could do something to somebody. Snap up just that quick.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I am 100%, and I want y'all to pay attention to this, the people that's listening. I am 100% PTSD by itself. But I'm also, for my others, my migraines, my radiculopathy, my knee and my back and all these other things, they are rated at different percentages. So even if I didn't have the physical, I will already be 100% with my PTSD. Okay. Now I was 100% and I thought I was permanent and total. I went down to the Kisha. People said, oh, you 100%. Go take your paper down to the city office. You get taxes off your house and your car. I
Ma'am.
was like, I can't. So I went and they said, no, you have to have a certain paper that comes from the VA that says you are permanent and total. Like they knew exactly what they were looking for because people do it all the time. And so I called the VA and I said, you all told me that I can just go and put my application in. Guess what? I was 100%, but I wasn't permanent total. I was just deemed at 100%. It was 6 months later when they did another evaluation on me. Listen, you all never know when you're going to be evaluated. Until you're permanent and total, your rating can change at any time. Let me repeat that. Until you are permanent and total, your rating can change at any time. Okay. They would do an evaluation on you on so many years, and it was my time for that evaluation. They had noticed that I had, had some severe, intense PTSD training, help, assistance. I was receiving some deep help, you all. And it was during that time frame where they did the evaluation, and I received a letter in the mail said that I was permanent and total. Until then, that's when I went down. And now I don't pay any taxes on my house. Once I got approved, I sent that to my mortgage company, and they gave me back payment for 4 years and all the taxes I paid on my house, right? And then in certain states, you all, I want y'all to pay attention to this. Certain states will let you have the taxes on one car, two vehicles. It's up to that state. Hey, some states don't pay property tax anyway if you served in the military. Okay. So that's a difference. I see, hold on, let me see. The Nakia, I am currently at 70%. I was 30, 50, 70. Nakia, that's a good track. We're gonna talk more offline, Nakia. Because right now, if you've been at 70% for a certain period of time, if your condition has worsened and you have not went back and filed for a claim, then more than likely after 70 will go to 100. And mental health, most definitely, if that worsens, that would be the one that will increase most of the time. Okay. So the Kisha, any information on P&T, permanent total, that you want to add to it?
I think you brought up a good point, and I had made a note about that. We can speak from a federal state level, but every state has different guidelines for their veterans. So make sure you are
Yeah.
looking at your state to see what benefits are offered for your permanent and total disability, for any disability, or for any veteran status. Make sure you're checking for your particular state.
Yeah. That's a good question, and I mean a good validation point, because I have a lot of people that reach out to me and they say, I don't know where to start. If you're that veteran right now, and the kids, I want you to piggyback off of this for me. If you're that veteran right now, even Kathy and Nakia, you are veterans too. Give us some information that we can, give to the veterans as well. If you are that veteran, when they come, they say, I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I don't know where to start. First thing I ask is, do you have your DD 214? It's the
First.
first thing I ask.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes if you're other than honorable, hmm, you might have to go and request for an upgrade. And I'm not gonna go into details with that. We could talk more offline if anybody have any questions. But you have to that there's an application for that and a form and a criteria for that as well. But even when you file that, even that's not guaranteed. Okay. So I asked, do you have a DD 214? Do you have your medical records? Have you filed a claim before? If you filed a claim, do you have that sheet that comes in that orange envelope? Do you have that sheet that tells you what your disabilities were that you filed for and why they denied you? That's important. The
Yeah.
good thing about the VA, they would tell you why we denied you, and they would tell you why you haven't been increased.
Mm-hmm.
Read that. All people want to see is if I was denied or approved. They don't read the other pages, which says you're currently 30%. In order for you to get an increase, you have to show these signs right
Exactly.
here. They tell you what you have to show to get the increase, but you all don't read that. All you want to see is, am I denied or did I get the increase? Am I 0% or what? See, you all stop right there. I hope you picked up on that nugget that I just shared with you. Okay. So I asked, have you filed that form? Some say, no, I haven't. You don't have that form. It's okay. Call 1-800-827-1000 and ask for the benefits that you filed. I also say, do you have an e-benefits account?
That was gonna be my suggestion.
Nikisha, do you I helped the veteran. It took us almost 2-3 hours. His wife couldn't believe it the other day. It told him every disability every time he filed. It told him he didn't know he had life insurance, that he was paying life insurance, that he had, from after retiring.
Mm-hmm.
He seen that. He also was able to look at the top. Guess what was up there, veterans? My Healthy Vet.
All your stuff.
My Healthy Vet, you can talk to your providers, right? You have all access,
Mm-hmm.
all access. And the good thing about the VA, there is something called Joint Legacy Viewer, GLV, JLV. JLV allows that worker who was at the VA to
Yes.
look into those military charts to see what you did in the military. So now I like how the military is now merging with the VA Medical Center, because they understand that there is a transition period. At least 6 months prior to retiring, that case manager with the military will work with the VA rep for your transition.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So you all got to start writing things down before you retire. Okay. And even before you retire. Um, so
Don't retire.
yes, that. So I asked for your DD 214. I ask if you have your service records. Or do you have any records where you went to a civilian doctor? I asked, do you have your paper that denied you or told you what your rating is? Or if you haven't filed, you wouldn't have one. I then asked you, do you have an e-benefits account? I will give you the information to set that up. You will see the My Healthy Vet at the top, which allows you to check all of your appointments, medications, everything at the VA Medical Center. Then I say, have you spoke to a VSO, a Veteran Services Officer? Have you spoke with them? Have you allowed them to help you? The last thing I would say is, what are you filing for? So, to everybody that wants to know, that's what I would ask you. Okay. Dakisha, what do you want to add for veterans that is looking to file for benefits and for veterans that need to look at your forms to see exactly what they're telling you?
Yeah, I'm going to say that VA, the e-benefits on the va.gov website. What's happening now, in time past, the VA didn't have the access like we would with our civilian doctor. Most civilian organizations are using portals, a medical portal that you can go in and see all of your notes, all of your records. The VA has done something very similar with their My Healthy Vet, right?
Yep.
So if you are already registered through, I believe it's va.gov, there's
Yep.
benefits on there. Just like she said, you can go in and see every claim you've ever filed, any documentation that is associated with any of your medical records will be there. And it is very useful to use. They will literally, I looked at my denial letter and saw what was likely and what was not likely, and then
Mm.
encouragement through the VSO on how to reapply based on my previous denial letter. Um, I would also recommend going to, there's a website called the National Veterans Foundation, that will lead you to your state VSO. So
Yep.
go on to, and I'll put the link in your Facebook chat later, but you can go on this National Veterans Foundation website, search by your state, and it will give you numbers, locations of your veteran service officers. I'm also going to put this plug out because I have built a great relationship here with our adjutant, our deputy adjutant general here in Pennsylvania for
Wow.
Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, and several veteran service officers, that if you're not sure where to start in your state, reach out to me and I will reach out to them. They have vowed to help us outside of Pennsylvania connect people and other
Wow.
veteran service officers.
Dakisha, that is so sweet of you.
Yeah, let me
Thank
know.
you.
Everyone to get everything they have earned and they're so deserving of. I know for that time period between service and actually filing a claim, you'll be surprised, for several reasons. Culturally, so we don't always speak about the issues that we're facing mentally,
Oh,
physically. You think you're supposed to jump right back into your normal life and handle business as usual, but you will need these resources. Sometimes we don't know which way to turn. There's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know and I need help.
right.
People are here to help you to make sure that you get what you have earned and you so deserve. Legislation is changing because they see the need that veterans have for
Yes.
ailments that are rising up. We were deployed together 20 years ago, but now they're seeing like, all right, people who have deployed to these regions with these exposures are now facing these medical issues.
Yes.
We need legislation in place to cover them, what they are facing. So all of that is happening. And if you're out here trying to navigate on your own, you're going to be like a little ship on the ocean, just lost. Let someone help you. Ask for help. We're here. I'm sure anyone that is watching, I've heard you say, we always say McBride is on, Kathy,
Yep.
Deborah is here. Any one of us would be willing and ready to help you. Just get a connection at the least.
Yes. And that's all that matters. And I appreciate that you opened that up, Dakisha, for people to reach out to you. And once we're done, we're going to put it on both pages for people to get that information, because I typically get a lot of feedback after podcasts. And so this is very important because we 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 served. We served honorably. I don't care if you served, 1 day or 5 years or whatever. You took an oath and obligation, and you was willing to sacrifice.
Mhm.
And I know for some reasons it makes a difference. I know I don't know the exact date, but I think is eligibility for veteran health affairs and benefits is two different eligibilities, you all. I have to stress this.
Yes.
Some people would you may some people will say they denied me with help from the VA, and I'll ask you, when did you serve? So I think it's September the 8th or 9th, 1980. Before then, you are eligible. But after 1980, if you haven't served at least two consecutive years, or if you're a reservist or active duty, I'm sorry, if you're a reservist, then there are some flexibility with reservists, because your 180 days, your deployments, all of
Mhm.
that stuff can add up. But if you're active duty two consecutive years, then more than likely you do have access to the Veteran Health Administration. But I know some people that takes this mean test and you make too much money.
Oh yeah.
So if you make, yeah, and they'll say, well, I served, there is a means test. There is a reason for it. And I just tell people it's important that if you don't go seek care at least, what is it, 5 years, right, Nikisha,
Yeah.
after get out the military, if you don't go at least 5 years where it's free and get connected and get disability or whatever assistance you need after those 5 years, it's kind of hard to
Mhm.
get back in with the VHA unless you are already service connected. The moment you're service connected, you can be seen at the Veteran Health Administration for that service connected disability. Okay? If you are 100%, you can receive dental care at the Veterans Health Administration. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, the Kisha, again, she's going to put it out. Every state has their own, state and federal has their own rules, but a lot of times the health administration goes up under the same umbrella. Okay. Um, I also want to say that the you have caregivers.
Mhm.
Hats off to all my caregivers out there. Um, you have caregiver support programs and you have aid and attendant. Um, I want you all to do your research. You can actually Google the criteria for aid and attendant and caregiver support. But I talked to one today who works in the caregiver support program, and what she advised me to tell people is the stipulations has changed. It's it's solely off of your ADLs. Ask yourself, if I didn't have my caregiver with me, helping me, whether it's my spouse, whether it's a child or a friend or whatever, if I didn't have that caregiver with me, would I need to go into a nursing home? Right? Some people that can't take their medication by themselves or they can't drive, that's not really an ADL, right? Your daily living is, are they assisting you with toiletry? Are they assisting you with getting on and off the bed? This is every day. Are they assisting, not just cooking for you, but are they helping to feed you, right? Um, she kind of probed a little bit and said, hey, can you stand up for periods of time and cook for yourself? If you can't, and somebody had to do that for you, then that's kind of different. But they do this assessment, you all, and it's a very intense assessment that people were getting approved before, but now you pretty much, if you can't do your ADLs, and there's a criteria for that, then the caregiver support might not be for you. But if you're not approved for the stipend, now that's for the stipend. There's a level where they pay you a certain amount. It's a range. Where I don't know the exact amount. I don't know if the total amount is up to 3,000. I'm not sure because it changes so much. But they have a support program that if you're not approved for the stipend, they have another program where they will give caregiver resources, groups, different feedback to help you through that process as a caregiver. Different community resources where they link you with other caregivers. So if you don't get approved for the stipend, caregivers and the veterans, you still have that support on the other end. Now, aid and attendant is something different, and I'm going to read that out for you. You must have served at least 90 days of active duty with at least 1 day during a period of war. You must have anything other than a dishonorable discharge. A surviving spouse must have been married to the veteran at the time. And this is if you have passed, or if they if the person passed and you have not remarried unless to a wartime veteran. And that's if you have passed. That's 8 and 10. You can get 8 attended before and after. Sometimes surviving spouses can too. You must require the assistance of another person to perform some of the daily activities of living. All right. You must meet income and countable asset criteria established by the VA. Okay. And the eligible periods of war is World War II, Korean conflict, Vietnam War era, and Persian Gulf era. Okay. So, aid and attendant and caregiver support. There are stipend opportunities for you all, and there are support that if you don't get approved for the stipend. I think the aid and attendant. Let me see. That is what's the amount? I think that goes up to. I think it was $3,160. I think. I had it on my thing. Yep, $3,261 for aid and attendant up to, and that's on the VA form 21-2680. VA form 21-2680. And again, you all can Google this about the aid and attendant caregiver support, or you can reach out to the VSO representative and call 1-800-827-1000. Okay. That's the basic thing to do. Call VSO or call the 1-800-827-1000. Before I get to you, Dakisha, Nakia made a good point, McBride. She made a great point. If you are, and she said in Maryland, is one car for each veteran, permanent and total. And she said there's no taxes on car, no fee registration, and no emissions test. So that is one car for Maryland. I know it's one car for Virginia too, but she's right. If you are serving in the military and you are stationed somewhere, there's an exemption. You don't have to worry about getting an inspection done. You just have to show some proof of having some type of service, oil change or whatever. You send that in and you're exempt from your inspection. All right. And also, I think in North Carolina, and I didn't know this the whole time, I would have been exempt from my vehicle tax on at least one vehicle while serving in the military. They couldn't backdate it for me. So you all look, serving in the military right now, if you are not privy of this information, call and find out from your local city tax office. Hey, I'm serving. What are my options? So I do know that if you are serving, this is if you are reservist or whatever too, you can check and see what your eligibilities are in that area. Okay. You may not have to get an inspection. You can just go ahead and get your stuff renewed. Okay. Your registration. The kiss you want to add to that?
Yeah, again, I'm always going to preface with check your state's eligibility. And along the lines of disability, since we are on that topic, just make sure you're checking your state. I know Pennsylvania has blind veterans pensions. There's grants and funds out there for amputees, paralyzed veterans.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are utilizing every service that is available to you. There are grants out there with money just sitting there waiting for people to use it because so many are not aware. But and then if you can't drive, there's transportation available for disabled veterans. Just make sure that you are uh, exploring every option that is available to you and not just feeling defeated in your situation or whatever your circumstance is.
There's also the Kisha, um, some veterans, they have repairs to their home as well.
Yes.
Yep.
There,
So
I have a list of things here. I'm like, I should have highlighted and made some different colors. Yes. Listen, repairs to your home. Um, if there are veterans who are facing financial difficulties and you're having issues paying your rent, your mortgage, there are foundations, state and federal foundations that will help you with housing assistance. We see veteran homelessness steady on the increase, but there are programs out there that can help you in that time of need.
I'm looking at Kathy. Since 1988, started at 10%, 20%, and now 80%. First employment, Persian Gulf, been serving since. Okay. Kath, I'm gonna get with you offline for sure. Yeah, I need to see what your combined ratings are. And then when you look at your combined rating, say for instance, your highest one may be, you might be at, for you to be 80%, and you all, I learned this combined rating like, oh my gosh, I'm on it. So if you are 80%, that means on a combined rating scale, you are from 66%, no, 65% to, you're from 65 to 75. Let me make sure I'm right. Yeah. That means that once you get over 75, you're at 80%. If the moment you would go to 90%, if your combined ratings hit 85%. So I need to look at your combined ratings. The moment you hit 95%, you're 100% service connected. So if you 96, 97, they round off. You have to know what your combined rating is. People say, well, I'm 20%, 30%, 10%. Mine's 130. I
No.
said, no, that's just simple addition. But there's a combined rating scale that tells you if you are from 20 and you drop down to 30, okay, that puts you at 35%. So that means your rating would be 40%. Okay, hold on, you have another rating that puts you down to 65. You're now 70%. Up, you at 84. Guess what? You're at 84, I mean 80%. So Kathy, you're anywhere between 75 to 84%. The moment you hit 85%, you will go to 90. Okay. People ask me, how do you know that? I studied that combined rating scale. I say, you know what? I need to increase on this one thing right here. If I increase by this point right here, it's going to take me over 95%. I knew it. And then also, you all have to know this, educating yourself. Knowledge is power. You have to know that each disability has a limit. So tinnitus, you're never going over 10% for tinnitus. Remember that. You would never go over 10% for tinnitus. For mental health, that can go straight to 100%. Okay? For your lower, I think is I'm maxed on my migraine. I don't have it in front of me, but I think the migraine, the kisser let me know is 30 or 40%. I can't remember, but there's a max for your disabilities. So if you all have reached sleep apnea, radiculopathy, knee pain, knee condition, lumbar strain, there is a limit for each one. So if you think that you can actually get a higher rating on that one, you probably can't. You might be at that limit. So educate yourself or just send me a message.
That's why I said
It's too
file
easy.
everything. File every single thing that you can. Like I said, they will tell you, like you said, there's a maximum rating on some of these, but file everything. Don't let anything go undocumented. That is going to be your best bet. And listen, you're going to find something new in a few years. And could it be service related? That's what things like the PACT Act is for. Can we have these
Yes. Stop
issues?
right there, the kisser. Hold on, stop right there. The deadline passed for that, right?
So the deadline passed in order to, oh, I should have checked it. There was an intent to file deadline, right?
That's it.
That
Yep.
that would have back paid you until 2022. But I believe you can still file for your PACT Act, but that back payment is not available anymore.
That's true. That's true. So y'all, that's a good point. The pack at this point, you had, I forgot the date. The intent to file, and Miss Denise, she's sending me so many text messages right now. I can't click on them because it would freeze us. But everything that she sends, I'm going to come back and put in the comments for you all. But the PAT Act, the intent to, right now, if you were to receive that disability, it would, okay, hold on, she's texting me, she's hearing me somewhere. She said there's no deadline for the PAT Act. I did see that in the comments, but for the intent to file for the back payment,
For
that's
the
the
back,
difference.
yes, that has
Yep.
passed. It was
Yes.
extended, but they did. That date has passed. I had put something up time, but the date for back pay has passed. It's still at that. And y'all go and look at this list, not locations and some of the toxins you may have been exposed to, but look at these medical conditions that they have now categorized under the PACT Act. They have expanded those, and there's quite a bit on there. I was surprised how lengthy the list is now. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. And your DD 214 will be your evidence of where you've served. They will ask some questions about what you've been exposed to,
Yep.
or in what years and what issues, what medical issues you've been having. But that's easy work for us. We know where we've been and we know some of the things we've seen.
Okay, Kathy said 30 September was the deadline for back pay for the PAT Act. Okay, 30 September. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for that. Yep, 30 September. And Pat, I'm glad you spelled it out. PACT. All right. Oh my gosh, y'all, it's a plethora of information. Oh my gosh, it's just so much. It's just so much. Um, Being retired, I have the comeback specialty pay. So in addition to my 100%, I get an additional CRC. It is comeback. Gosh, what is it? What's that? Comeback is CRSC, and you have CSD. Let me see. What is that? I want y'all to look this up. And Kathy, put this down in the comments for me. So people can see this. Hold on. We're gonna go over just a little bit tonight. Difference between, and you're gonna know what I'm talking about. CRSC. It came right up. All right, here we go. Kathy or Nakia, type this in for me. CRDP and CRSC. So these are both programs that provides additional compensation to military retirees with service-connected disabilities. Okay, CRDP covers all service-related disabilities. CRSC, Nakia, CRDP, Charlie Romeo Delta Papa. There you go. Thank you, Nakia. And the CRSC covers only combat related disabilities. That's why I have CRSC, because mine was combat related. CRDP is all service related disabilities. CRDP is taxable and is automatically given to eligible retirees, while CRSC is non-taxable and requires an application to the branch of service. Oh my gosh, that CRSC was the most tedious application I ever filled out. But when I was going through my retirement, my JAG attorney, she was the best. She walked me through everything. So I'll tell you all, the CRSC is a special compensation. So none of my stuff is taxed. All of my stuff is tax free. And I get an additional on top of my 100%. So I want you all to look into that. Okay. What is the name for it? Combat. Hold on, I want to say this for you all. Stop giving me. Hold on, you all. Let me see. I used to know exactly what it stands for. The kids, are you all? If y'all find it first, read it out. There you go. Thank you, Kathy. Combat related special compensation. That's it. That is it. Combat related special compensation. And then look how the teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, we still battle buddies, aren't we? We fought together back in 2003, 2004, and we fighting together now for these veterans. I love y'all. All right. CRDP, let me see. Okay, CRDP is concurrent retirement and disability pay. That is a program that allows retirees to receive both their military retirement pay and their VA disability pay. Okay. And CRSC is a program signed into law in 2002 that provides tax-free monthly payments to eligible veterans. CRSC provides tax-free payments to retired veterans without combat-related disabilities. So, did you hear me, retirees? Look it up. CRDP or CRSP, CRSC. Look it up. Knowledge is power. Education is power. Okay. All right. Kathy and Nakia McBride. No, McBride is her maiden name.
She's
Yeah.
oh
She
yes.
Clemens. That's right. I want to get it right. And that's why I'm not calling her McBride. Get it right. All right. So you all put some more information. If y'all know, if we left anything out, put it in the comments for us, okay? Because we have people on YouTube who's watching and people on Twitter and people comes back and view. Um, okay, Nakia said I answered to both. Okay. What does that mean, Nakia? Now, why Nakia is saying this, it says CRDP, you must have a VA disability rating of 50% or higher. I repeat that. CRDP, you must have a VA disability rating of 50% or higher. CRSC, you must have a VA disability rating of 10% or higher. Oh, okay, I got you. I answered to both McBride and Clemens. Okay, I got you. I got
Oh,
you. Okay, all right, all right. Thanks for clarifying that for me. All right. Okay, so yeah, this is the kisser. We didn't talk about burial benefits.
listen, whatever you're facing in life, there is something for you as a veteran.
It
Yes,
is.
burial benefits, life insurance, even if you're separated from service, yes, still available to you.
Yes. And here in Virginia, a lot of people go to Albert G. Horton. And I love Albert G. Horton. At the funeral home, a lot of our veterans, I have veterans now. When I see them, I say, here, are you already registered at Albert G. Horton? No. All right, here you go. Fill this out. You have a spouse or you have a Mr. Niece would be great to explain this. And spouses, guess what? The VSOs work with the legislation to get it approved. It was once a charge for $400 for spouses. It is now free.
Yep.
So now it's free for spouses as well. You all don't have to pay. Now I know if you're over the age of 18, it's different. But if you are have a certain disability as a child, there are some flexibility with that. Any reservists or National Guard, you all qualify as well. Okay. So I know that Mr. Keith, he is so great. I mean, at the funeral home, I love Albert G. Horton. Their staff is so beautiful. Albert G. Horton and the representative and the DAV came to our funeral home because, as you all know, at Presidential Funeral Services, we offer veteran benefits. I am a veteran, female owned, right? So that was the one of the main purposes for open up the funeral home is to offer these free services and partner up with these organizations like you all do, Dekisha,
Mhm.
right? And so when they came, one thing stood out to me. She said, we really can't establish more land until we have more pre-burial applications submitted and approved. Did y'all hear me? They really don't get approved for more land until they have the pre-burial application. So ding, ding, ding. When I heard that, I said, look, I need to get as many veterans as I can to fill out their applications. And I submitted. All you would need if you're married is a copy of your marriage license for eligibility for your spouse and your DD 214. And they get right back to us. And so what they'll do, they will email you approval and then they will mail it to you. Guess where I want y'all to put it when they mail it to you? I know you are putting it in that binder where all your life insurance policies at, or your information that tells your loved one where your stuff is for you to get buried. So when something happens to you, because we're all leaving here one day, right? See, I
Yeah.
can easily talk about it because I know we're all leaving here. So you want to have that space, whether it's my ours is out in the garage, they know what it looked like, and it's in a fireproof file cabinet. If you don't have that, give it to more than one person,
Hmm.
right? Have your stuff together. So when they give you all that letter, when mine came, I stuck it right in there already because I know where my husband and I are going to be at, right? I already know it's together. So yes, and again, that's Albert G. Horton here to Kisser. Do y'all have a state a cemetery there?
We do. We have Fort Indian Town Gap, not too far from here, and that is
Indiantown Gap has one.
yes, ma'am.
I didn't look how many times we went there for training.
Yes, they have a very large cemetery here. We go out and put flags out for Memorial Day. We're doing
Oh,
across America this year again. I was able to sponsor one of our battle buddies last year, two of his uncles. I sponsored them for Reads Across America last year. So, yeah, we have a
girl,
big one.
I get the kiss. I get so sensitive when we talk about stuff like that. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, this is National Battle Buddy Week, y'all. I know in the military, it's beautiful, and but at the same time, if you don't take care of yourself, it can really take control over you because we are taught to be strong, and we are when we're in our mission and we serve and we build relationships and that camaraderie, and our battle buddies become our family.
That's right.
It's that extension, and I just love how we're a community and we stick together. But at the same time, you all have to get out the stereotype of saying we're crazy or something wrong with us because we're not.
Hmm.
That's why a lot of people don't want to come get help either because they think if they get that diagnosis, because I was like that at one time too. Oh, I have a good job. Or if I go try to get this, they're going to see that I have PTSD, or they're going to see this or that, and that becomes a limitation. But let me tell you, the military is taking great care of my family, in which they should. Thank you, because I served, a lot of you all served, and people say, how can this person only serve 6 months but 100%? You don't know someone else's story.
You don't.
Never compare yourself to somebody else. All right, we all sacrificed,
Hmm.
and the family sacrificed too. And so because of that, I have made sure that when I leave this earth, if I leave first, my husband and my kids know exactly what their options are. You have the DIC, the death indemnity compensation. I want y'all to look at that. D Delta India Charlie, DIC. If you pass away for one of your service connected disabilities, there's a possibility that your loved one, your spouse, will receive a stipend, a monthly compensation each month. Okay. But it has to be recorded on the death certificate. So if I pass away for something as one of my conditions and it shows on the death certificate, then guess what? My husband is subject to, and it's an application process. And Miss Denise is great. I'm telling y'all, they love us at the funeral home because at presidential funeral services, we know people are going to leave here. We don't just meet with the people for burial. We meet with you. It's life before death, y'all. Get it? Let's go. That's why people ask, you in the funeral home business? That's the reason why. Y'all see how passionate I get when I talk about it? See, I can talk. Kiss, you say me, Kissy. I mean, the Kisha. That wasn't her name, y'all. I got you mixed up with somebody else, the Kisha. I got you mixed up with somebody else. So, yeah. So it's just so much, y'all. I know I'm 9 minutes over, but this is something that I really want to talk about. And the SBP, I'm going to end with this survivor benefits program. A lot of people think that, oh, my loved ones served in the military, they have something. No, people, when you get out, if you didn't sign up for the survivors benefit program, which I am paying, and some people think it doesn't, well, I have this 401, or I have this saved up and I don't need the SBP. And sometimes it doesn't make sense for some people. But there's a certain amount that comes out of my retirement check um for my SBP. So when I pass, my husband also gets a stipend for that as well. Also veterans, if once you get out the military, then the kisser let me know. You have your VGLI, right?
Yeah.
They give you, well, now let me go back. Let me go back. Once you get out, I received a letter from Prudential.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was receiving $400,000 of SGLI, that's service members life group insurance. All right. Once you discharge from the military, it is no longer SGLI. There is a time period where you will still have it. But after a certain time period, you can sign up through Prudential. It's an application, and you can opt to receive from 100,000 up to the amount that you actually was getting. So I was getting 400,000. I could have received 100, 200, 300. I said, nope, give me 400,000. I want to keep the same amount, and it's cheap. I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna pay like $30, $40 a month for $400,000, right? Because I opt to keep it. Now they give you, I can't remember how many years it is. Kathy or Nikhil, you all know, put it in there, but y'all look it up. Once you get out the military, after so many years, if you do not sign up for Prudential to carry over, you have to show proof that you were receiving the SGLI. If you was not receiving SGLI in the military, then you cannot come and get the same amount that you was getting before. Let me emphasize that. VGLI, I think that's what the kids are $10,000. You all look up VGLI, Veterans Life Group Life
That's
Insurance,
options for that. So
Veterans Life Group Insurance. Okay. So SGLI means what, you all? You're serving. You're now out the military. You can get it in Prudential, pay a very low premium for it. You can also get VGLI, Veteran Life Group Insurance. All right. When loved ones come to the funeral home, they'll say, my loved one served. First thing I do is I call casualty affairs, and I'll say, I ask if the person retired. They'll say, look, once they got out, if they didn't sign up for the life insurance or the veteran life insurance, there's no life insurance for them. So you all get out your head that you think because your loved ones served that they automatically have life insurance when they get out. That is not the case. They have to sign up for something and they receive a packet. Or they can call who to kisser? The VSO.
yeah, I'm telling you. Listen,
VSO, Veteran Service Organizations. Okay. The
they
kiss,
have
you want to add on to that? I've kind of talked a little bit too much because we can
no,
go on and on and on.
no, but it is very important for us to consider our lives and our life insurance. VSOs can help you to write a will. That is a service that they offer. And I wanted to, before we close, we'd be remiss if we did not throw a plug out there for the Veterans Crisis Hotline.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Who are still suffering within their own minds, within their hearts, that need some help. So before this week ends, check on some of your battle buddies that you have not
Yes.
for a while, but also to those who are suffering in silence, those who feel like they cannot voice that they are suffering. There is a Veterans Crisis Hotline, and we can drop that number down in the chat. We'll drop some links down that you can reach out any time of day to get support that you need if you are facing a crisis. Please make sure you take advantage of that. I have lost a very dear friend of mine who is a veteran to suicide, and we are so distraught because people hide their pain so well. And so if you're out there, you're suffering and you're hurting, reach out to someone. Reach out to someone. If you're hurting, reach out to someone that you haven't heard from in a while. If you know they've in time past faced some crises, reach out to the Veterans Crisis Hotline. Get the help that you need. You are of more value to us when you are here, breathing and living among us.
Thank you for that. And the Veterans Crisis Line has really They know some people, suffer, not suffer, but are limited with working a phone. So you can they have live chat now, they have text, they have so much accessibility for you. And the kisser, when we finish, I want you to go back to my Talk Your Talk page and add it and comment and put all the resources, the veteran crisis line. When you go to your local VA, your psychiatrist, your psychologist, your therapist, whoever, they have cards for you. They have apps that you can have on your phone that you have easy access to on your apps on your phone as well. I'm gonna tell you, you all, say, I don't like the VA, I don't like this, and you have every right. But the VA right now, has vamped up to support
Yes.
veterans. They
Mm.
have. And sadly, it's not the VA system, it's sometimes the workers, right? And so it's sometimes those workers, what I mean by that they have to show more empathy. They have to meet veterans where they are. And being a veteran, I want to be honest with you. Some of you veterans sometimes come in and may act a little entitled and aggressive. You be humble with us too. Be more open with us. Let us help you. All right. Now I get it if you're going through a mental breakdown, some type of psychosis, or you're not in a mental space where you're able to be open-minded. I get that. That's a whole nother situation. But if you are oriented to time and you know what you're doing, work with us so we can help you. And please stop putting every VA worker in the same box. Everybody is not the same. Okay. But if you don't feel like you're being treated right, you have the patient advocates. All
Hmm.
right. Advocate for yourself and another veteran. So the kiss, this has been awesome. This is, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. When I seen the National Battle Buddy Week, I said, you know what? I was going to discuss something else. And I said, no, I'm going to talk about veterans. I am. And my heart, I always get so emotional, you know, when I think about veterans and spouses and people that's still serving, because I know it's not an easy task to juggle the military, your civilian life, family, and people don't understand sometimes. Even when you explain it to them, sometimes they still don't understand the kids, or they don't.
That's true.
So just be understanding and gentle with your loved one. Because a lot of times we do suffer in silence because we don't want to always talk about it or make you feel what we're feeling. That sounds kind of cliche, but sometimes you all would never know the darkest feelings that we have. Um, but reach out, reach. I cannot stress it enough. Reach out, and if all fails, if you cannot remember the crisis number, the three numbers you call is 911.
That's right.
911. When all else fails, this is Battle Buddy Week. I
I,
say Battle Buddies, even if I didn't serve with you. If you have on any uniform, you are my battle buddy. And I thank you. I do. I really thank you so much. And Dekisha, I really appreciate what your organization is doing for the community in Pennsylvania. I like how you all have partnered, and it means so much when it's people like you that work for these organizations. You all are veterans, so you all know firsthand what the gaps are.
mhm.
You all understand, you all know what help is needed. And for the organization to take that time and invest, whether it's financially, whether it's your man hours, whatever you're doing, the sacrifice, we thank you all, your company as well, for doing that and
Thank you.
all the initiatives that you're doing. You're welcome. Let me see. Deborah Vines-Epps was and still a blessing. Presidential funeral service was very essential with my mother's service. I can't thank her enough. Thank you, Kathy. Look, I was like Sergeant Shannon and everything. She was like, call me Kathy. Call me Kathy. I didn't
I
think like back then. I think I was like what, an E3, I don't know. She was a sergeant. So when she reached out, I was like, so she was like, Kathy, you are so welcome. Thank you
yeah,
for thinking. thinking of presidential. I really appreciate it. And we're new to Kitchen. We just, our grand opening was February, and we have been blessed to serve a lot of families and still serving families in all capacities, hospice facilities, nursing homes. We're out in these communities, and we are meeting people where they are. So
So,
yeah.
so we owe you a thank you also. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of everyone in attendance. Um, I was talking about you the other day, my little Debbie with a powerful punch. And your
Oh,
to veterans and to your community as a whole. So thank you. We understand that life gets busy, so we had to postpone a day. I'm like, Debbie just doing what Debbie does, right? I don't know if anybody else calls you that. Don't you do it if you don't.
yes. No, some people call me Debbie. Yes.
But yeah, seriously though, thank you for your work and all of the ventures that you have set in place to be a blessing to your community. I don't know how many thank yous you get in a day, but thank you on a day where you haven't provided any special service to me. Thank you for what you continue to do for these podcasts. I went back and watched a few. Go back and watch some of her podcasts.
Oh.
Support her and what she's doing, and we'll continue to support you all.
Oh, thank you so much, Dakisha. I so appreciate it. Yes, I'm Dakisha. I'm just doing. I found my purpose. I knew before when I, went to school to be a social worker. When I received my undergraduate and my master's degree, I knew I had an understanding, but I didn't really know until some things happened in my life, and because of that, I know my alignment and my purpose, and I'm in it. I'm in it to the day I go.
Good for
I
you.
am. I'm in it. God's, yes, He has aligned it for me, and sometimes it's not easy. I'm human. It's not easy because I sometimes I don't want to come onto the podcast. I want to just come home and I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Right? I don't. I'm retired, but I still serve. I still serve. I do. So thank you. And I know I asked God, I said, God, I want my podcast to go big because I want people around the world to hear me. And He hears me, and I know it's going to happen. I'm just
It's,
going to continue to be consistent.
it's
So they, tell your people to kiss you, follow me, spread the word, everything. And you all listen, just share it with somebody and just have them follow me. It's on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. I haven't done Instagram yet. Eventually, I would get with my marketing manager to have her do it, but I wanted to just start it here. Um, okay, so Kathy, yes, National Suicide Hotline 988. Okay, I do see this 988 and press one. Okay, so 988, press one. And then you can also text, put this in there for me, Kathy. You can text 838-255. And then the kiss, I want you to come back and put all your stuff too, in addition to this as well. So that's much easier. The number used to be longer.
Listen,
Remember?
to be dialing 10 numbers. We need help. We need it in 3 digits. Let's get it.
I like that. 988, then press one. Or text 838-255. Okay. All right. I'm claiming it, Kathy. I'm claiming it. I'm claiming it.
I
Thank
guess,
you, Lord, in advance. Say what now,
what
Dakisha?
was the comment? I can't see your
Oh,
comment.
she said, when I was talking about I wanted to go, national, I wanted to go, everybody can hear. I wanted when I'm up here, people are commenting, people getting information. I want it. I'm claiming it. When two are in agreement, Lord, I thank you.
That's the word.
Yes. Yes. I'm claiming it, girl. Because when I'm up here, it helps me too. And that's why I started Talk Your Talk. Let's talk. We busy. We with the kids. We doing things. When you release and you talk when you're done, it just feels like, so I got it out of me, right?
It's necessary. I want to say this, and then I'm not gonna hold you up.
It's
But
okay.
like you said, sometimes we get so inundated with our task and with life and trying to achieve our dreams that we hold back some of the things that we need to release. And I want to tell y'all that it has taken me about 20 years. This year was the first time I was finally able to admit something that happened to me while I was serving overseas. And I think that I'm finally in a headspace that, my children are grown and they're going off and trying to do their own things, that I can finally share what has happened. But I want other people to not have to wait 20 years to get free from something they've been holding in their hearts, or something that has hurt them, and they've been holding that shame and that guilt for that long. We want you all to have access to these veterans benefits, these services that are available to you, so that you can be free sooner than later. And that, your heart, your life, your mind, everything can just move freely. And just like Debbie, you can find your purpose in life.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Dakisha. I really appreciate it. We are at 25 minutes over, but guess what?
It
It's
is.
my podcast and I can do that. Hey, this is
Yes.
the beauty of it. Thank you. Name your organization again for us, Dakisha.
So I work for the Hershey Company, but within our company, as a part of our business resource group, it is the Veterans Business Resource Group. And we
Okay.
have partnered with different organizations in Pennsylvania to assist veterans within our company and also within our community.
Okay, great. And you're going to put that information for us back on the page, right? And
Yes.
okay. And then the resources,
Yep.
any information you think would be valuable for people to follow up with when they come back and view. Okay.
So
All right. Thank you, Dakisha, so much. I'm so proud of you and what you're doing. Look, when I see your post, I said, "Oh, Dakisha is in. Oh, she is doing big things. You moved right
I did.
from you. I mean, you were in Delaware, right?
I was in Delaware. I've been in Pennsylvania for a little over years now, about 2.5 years almost.
And so like for you to leave, it was a sacrifice too because you was in Delaware for a while.
Oh, I was in Delaware my entire life. Um, but when God has something for you,
Yeah.
gotta go. You don't even have to see the full picture. Just know that when God is throwing stuff at you, follow him. And because of faith in God and just following what he has for me, my life has been blessed. He's been blessing me tremendously to achieve dreams,
Good.
to be of service to others. And that's all I could hope for, really.
And the kitchen, I can tell in your pictures with you and your team, the smiles. I mean, nonverbals and body posture says a lot, and I can tell how happy you are within your organization. I can tell. Yep.
Thank I
I can
am.
tell. Yep. So again, thank you so much. This would not be the last time we talk about something.
That's
Okay.
all
You,
right.
we did this. You made it great for me too. I thought I was going to become a little emotional. This is always very sensitive for me as a veteran too. But again, I thank you. And thank you all for tuning in out there. It ends tonight, but it does not end for life. So you all have access to us. Dakisha has opened her arms up to you all too. I have as well. You have a veteran up here as well, Kathy Shanning and Nakia Clemens. You have people that you can reach out to. Do not fear asking questions. There's no dumb question. Okay. Ask and stop paying these people to do your stuff. VSOs does it for free. Trust the process. Y'all have a great night. This is your girl Deborah with Talk Your Talk on Thursdays at 7 o'clock. Follow me, YouTube at Talk Your Talk, and on Facebook and Twitter. All the links will be on my page. Y'all have a great weekend, and I'll see you all next week. Bye, Nikisha.
Abby.
Y'all have a good night.
You too, thanks.